the final weekend of the 2023 NASCAR Sweden Euro Series season, and all championships are on the line. And what better place to decide the title than in front of the Belgian fans at a venue like the Circuit Zolder. 2.5 miles in length, 4 kilometers in length. Means we've got 18 lap races for EuroNASCAR Pro, 15 for EuroNASCAR 2. Lots of overtaking opportunities around this layout.
It's time for the EuroNASCAR Finals, and with me, Gianmarco Ercoli, the current EuroNASCAR Pro Championship leader. It's all in here at Circuit Zolder, right?
Yeah, I'm ready for this important weekend for me and for the team. It's difficult because this circuit in history of the NASCAR is always the important point, the important key for the championship. So we are here with a good playing for try to win, and now we work hard for arrive to have a good qualifying tomorrow morning, and very hard race one, because it's much important tomorrow have the victory here.
You have been on the track already with the car. Does it feel good, because you were very close to Anthony Kumpen, and he's the mastermind behind this track, because he knows every inch.
Yeah, we start immediately with a good battle with Anthony. Yeah, it's good playing for me in the free practice one. Anthony don't lose the position, but it's only the first season of the free practice, so you can think the race.
Yeah. All right, then, good luck in the championship fight. It's going to be all in for Gianmarco Ercoli.
Yes, it will, and also a critical weekend for that young man, Paul Giffreau. He's fighting for the EuroNASCAR 2 Championship, but he's also our pole sitter in the EuroNASCAR Pro race here. So Paul Giffreau and RDV competition continue to make strides. Look at the number of fans we had, though, on the grid walk. During that grid walk, though, the heavens opened. Pretty much everybody electing to switch over to wet tyres in the early stages of the race. Race beginning under safety car conditions. We ride on board with, Jimmy Ercoli into the back there of Lucas Lasser. And look at the damage. So the race will begin after a couple of laps here under safety car conditions. 2 laps trundling around behind the safety car, and unfortunately Gianmarco Ercoli's 54 machine suddenly walking wounded. Paul Giffreau, though, will be the driver to floor it at the start of this race. He's got Giorgio Maggi just behind him, who was starting on the front row. Lucas Lasser getting a little bit wiggly there under braking into the first corner. But what about Gianmarco Ercoli? Is his car okay? We've seen the damage, and I believe that was Lasser. Yes, Lucas Lasser in the 64 car there, coming out of turn 3, getting a bit wide, getting onto the dirt. Meanwhile, the 18 is into the lead, so Giorgio Maggi has gotten past Paul Giffreau. Lucas Lasser demoted a couple of spots as well, so it's all shuffle, and Gianmarco Ercoli, the current championship leader, currently the first of those fighting for the title. It's a 4-way battle between Gianmarco Ercoli, Vittorio Girelli, Anthony Kumpen and Lucas Lasser. Ercoli would love to outscore all 3 drivers. There is Girelli in the 72 car, just behind Anthony Kumpen in the PK Car Sport 24. Of course, the 72, a Team Blake-Molen entry, and Vittorio Girelli and the Blake-Molen outfit have really gone leaps and bounds this year. Looks like Kumpen getting to the inside there of the 64. Lucas Lasser really struggling, falling through the order in the early stages of this race. Giorgio Maggi, however, continues to lead the way. Gianmarco Ercoli still looking strong there in 3rd place despite the damage on the front of that car. Lasser and Girelli side by side as they go into the first corner. The championship cannot be decided in this race, but it's a double-point season finale, of course, the EuroNASCAR Finals weekend. Double points on the line. And a race win is worth 80 points. 2nd place is worth 70. So if you can claim that win, that will do your championship a lot of favours. Giorgio Maggi straight across the Klein chicane. and Paul Giffreau gets through into the race lead. Paul Giffreau back to the lead then. Giorgio Maggi putting just a foot wrong. Paul Giffreau didn't need a second invitation to launch it up the inside. Giffreau has been so impressive in this season. His first season with RDV competition, moving over from Speedhouse last year. Ercole still there in third place, and look at that, Giffreau, now that he's gotten through, is disappearing up the road, already having to take an alternative line though to keep the tyres cool. Meanwhile, Tobias Downhauer, in spite of a slightly malfunctioning windscreen wiper, gets his way up into third place. Anthony Kumpen, the Joker, as he calls himself, now looking to try and get past Ercole as well. He manages to do it. Nicely done on the inside at turn 2. Anthony Kumpen knows this circuit better than just about anybody on the face of this earth. And Ercole cannot afford to keep losing places to title contenders. It's one thing losing out to someone like Giorgio Maggi or Tobias Downhauer, who's not a title contender. However, Jimmy Ercole very much cognizant of the fact that Anthony Kumpen could be a title threat, especially if he takes a win here on home turf at Zolder in Belgium. Kumpen, though, has a lot of work to do to get up to the back of Paul Giffreau, who's extending his lead at the front of the pack. Here's Luca Lasser. He rides on board with the 64 car as he heads up towards the back of Jimmy Ercole. Not close enough for a move into the final chicane, the Jackie X-Bocht. Hesitant on the power in these wet conditions, but he gets better traction than the driver of the 54 car, Luca Lasser, surely inside line. Yes, easy done eventually for the Frenchman. The native of Pau gets through into 5th position. And now Ercole is going to be watching behind him because Vittorio Garelli, the only title contender left behind the Cal Racing 54 car. This is not the race that Jimmy Ercole was anticipating. Came in as title leader. Lasser and Kumpen both over 20 points back. However, Vittorio Garelli at much closer range. He really can't afford to be dropping points to Vittorio Garelli in the championship. So Garelli behind Ercole for now. It's a battle of the Italians. There is Garelli in the 72, really hounding the back as they go through Boulderberg. That 54 car being made as wide as humanly possible. I think Ercole struggling with these conditions a little bit. Whether there is some damage on the car as well, is that just cosmetic or is it having a broader effect? Certainly maybe a slight drag effect. And certainly stronger in a straight line is the 72 Toyota Camry from the Blake & Molan stable. The 72 car of Vittorio Garelli is up a position into 6th place. Ercole trying to fire back as they go through the second corner. But the 72 is through. And based on what we've seen from Ercole so far in this race, I'm not anticipating any rallying back up to the rear of Garelli. It just seems as though Gianmarco Ercole hasn't got the speed in this race, and an error, a foot wrong, trying to carry speed that he simply couldn't through the Klein chicane. Here comes Sebastian Blake & Molan. Blake & Molan, of course, the team boss at the Blake & Molan squad. He is going to be aware that he will do his driver all manner of favours if he can get past the 54. In fact, if he gets through, I believe that puts Vittorio Garelli into a provisional championship lead going into the finale. So Blake & Molan could really make a difference in his team's championship hopes. Drag race down to the first corner. Blake & Molan with the unfavoured outside line. He's got a nose ahead of the 54 car. Just needs to now carry the momentum, trying to avoid those slippery curves on the outside of turn 1. And Blake & Molan makes it look academic. Gianmarco Ercole clearly not fighting with a full round of ammunition on this occasion. Liam Haseman's just behind as well. He had a poor qualifying, but is working his way back into the top 10. Already up as far as P9 and on the back of Gianmarco Ercoli. Meanwhile, Paul Giffreau continues to lead the way. These wet tyres will be going off now that the track is drying. And Luca Lasser seems to be thriving in these conditions. He's up to third place. Can he make it P2? Giorgio Maggi under pressure from the Frenchman. And up the inside goes Lasser. That was made to look very easy. Giorgio Maggi just doesn't have what it takes to match up to Lasser on the form he's currently on. The pace is very impressive from that 64 car. Maggi would love to secure a podium, though. It's been a difficult season for Giorgio Maggi. We know he's got the potential to fight for wins and possibly even championships here in EuroNASCAR. He's just not had a roll of the dice this season that's really gone in his favour. Luca Lasser, though, of course, wasn't intending to do the full season, but won the race and left Valencia with a championship lead, and from there he has continued to be in the championship hunt. If he can secure 80 points in this race by overtaking Paul Giffreau, that will have a huge championship implication. Lasser trying to go around the outside of Paul Giffreau. That wasn't quite going to work. But clearly the pace advantage is with the elder Frenchman. His much younger countryman, Paul Giffreau, trying to make the RDV car as wide as possible. But it feels like a matter of time here, and sure enough, Giffreau and Lasser tried to find room through the first corner, and Lasser is the one that carries more speed. It's Luca Lasser then up into the lead of the race. Lucas Lasser in the 64 car to the lead, and depending on how far Gianmarco Ercoli falls, this might even put him into the championship lead. He was over 20 points back, but with 80 points for a win, 70 for second, it's critical that he holds on to that lead, and didn't get the best of runs there out of Klein chicane. Giffreau almost fired back, not quite to beat. Now over the Villeneuve chicane, you can see how much curb they need to take at both chicanes in order to really carry speed and be competitive. I think Lasser, though, has just about weathered the storm behind him in the form of Paul Giffreau. Lasser across the line, and he takes the win, and with it the championship lead. Ercoli finishing in 10th place. Luca Lasser in that 64 car has done exactly what he needed to do. He's the race winner, and he is swimming upstream in the championship battle.
I push every time. Just I stay focused 100%. Every time, every day, just on me, on my driving style, on the setup with my crew mechanics. They work very, very, very hard, but with a lot of good atmosphere. And it's a part of Speedhouse, my team, Speedhouse team. And yeah, when I'm on the car, I'm a lion, and I teach to every drivers on my team to be a lion and to never give up, just to be totally concentrate on them, and after we'll see.
Based on the provisional point standings, we calculated them. You are first now in the championship in EuroNASCAR Pro.
Yeah, maybe, but it's important to be tomorrow first.
There you go, Luca Lasser, laser focused on the task at hand, but he is on top of the podium in the penultimate round of the season. Double points again on Sunday, though. He needs a good result as well to secure the title. Junior result going to Giffreau, Challenger Trophy to Thomas Tuffel. It's an equally close title battle in EuroNASCAR 2 this weekend.
The EuroNASCAR 2 Championship is on fire, and the guy leading is right next to me. Vladimir Zorc is driving the Academy Alex Caffey car. Championship final, double points on the line. Let's go. What are your feelings going into this final race?
Yes, personally, I am fully ready after the unlucky 2 races in Germany. But anyway, it's a past, it's a new race weekend. Every day is a new day, so we are on the positive side, and all the results that we showed all the year through, I am sure that we will be able to put them down this weekend.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck in the championship fight. And now it's on EuroNASCAR 2.
Slightly shorter race in EuroNASCAR 2, but no change in the grid position compared to EuroNASCAR Pro for Paul Giuffreau, who once again finds himself at the sharp end of the order. Giuffreau absolutely dominating, showing everyone whose game it was in qualifying on Saturday morning. Can he convert it into a race result? Funnily enough, it's Giorgio Maggi's EuroNASCAR 2 teammate in the same 18 car, Claudio Remigio Capelli, on the front row for the first time. And let's see if Claudio Remigio Capelli can bring the fight to the number 3 driver. Alberto Nasca right there behind Giuffreau as well. Giuffreau fighting for this championship. So is Nasca. So is Jill Linster there in the 50 car. And Vladimir Osiortis. You see the number 5 car there, the points leader. And I think he got into it a little bit there with Thomas Dombrowski. Dombrowski into a spin. The third of the Team Blake and Molan cars sent into a spin. Everyone seems to have continued on. And Claudio Remigio Capelli is your race leader. So Claudio Remigio Capelli with the early lead here over Paul Giuffreau. Capelli turns into the corner. Of course, he's fighting for the Legend Trophy classification here in the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series EuroNASCAR 2 division. You see Melvin de Groot there in the back of shot of one of his closest rivals in that championship. It's likely going to go down to the two of them for the classification in Legend Trophy. So Claudio Remigio Capelli could really do with the points on this occasion. Jill Linster, unfortunately the data points don't lie. He's back in his average position, P4, Mr. 4th place. Currently there in 4th, but he's got Alberto Nasca just ahead of him. Paul Giuffreau, meanwhile, not being given many opportunities by Claudio Remigio Capelli, but he carries good speed through the first corner. Can he jink to the inside for turn 2? Not given the opportunity to do that. It's drying around this circuit. Leave everyone on those slick tyres. However, there are still some damp patches offline. So you have to be careful before committing to the inside at some of these corners and on those curbs. Seems as if Zeus can't decide what weather to grant us this weekend. Claudio Remigio Capelli refuses to grant Paul Giuffreau any opportunity to get by, and that's bringing Alberto Nasca into the fight. Capelli struggling for traction out of the Villeneuve chicane. Giuffreau to the inside line at Boulderberg, not quite able to get that done. Alberto Nasca waiting in the wings, looking to the inside, going into the final chicane, but not quite close enough for a move. Linster and de Groot being brought into this scrap as well, as is Patrick Schauber in the number 27 Double V car. It's 3 wide on the main straight, and can Nasca get through into the lead? He's late on the brakes, he's committed, and he's passed Claudio Remigio Capelli. Here comes Paul Giuffreau. He needs to follow Nasca through if possible. Capelli trying to carry speed around the outside, but Giuffreau has gotten into second position. Alberto Nasca then, your new race leader. Linster through into 3rd place. Capelli being bullied down the order, and I'm not convinced that car's okay. And look, it's slowing. Claudio Remigio Capelli goes from winner, or at least winner-elect, to a retirement in just a matter of corners. Hugely unfortunate for Claudio Remigio Capelli. That is going to swing the Legend Championship in the favour of Melvin de Groot. Meanwhile, Alberto Nasca heads out to the final corner with Paul Giuffreau very much in his shadow. Can Giuffreau find a way past the talented Italian? 2 of the bright youngsters in EuroNASCAR 2. Both drivers I would be immensely keen on seeing in EuroNASCAR Pro in years to come. But for now, they're focusing on that EuroNASCAR 2 title battle. It's a title battle that Osiortis has to be nervous about. He's running in the back of shot in 6th place right now, while 2 of his primary title contenders, Nasca and Giuffreau, are fighting between themselves for 80 points. I think if either of these 2 drivers wins the race, they will inherit the championship lead going into the decider. NASCAR and Dufresne turn into Olderberg once again. It seems as though the first sector of the lap is where Dufresne is quite strong, and this time he's got a great run out of the final corner. It's side by side, Dufresne with a nose ahead, but NASCAR has the inside line. NASCAR brave and late on the brakes, trying to hold on through turn one. They get exceedingly close together. Dufresne with a worse run out of the first corner, and NASCAR, oh, contact between the two of them. Contact at turn two. NASCAR trying to get that engine fired up again. He's in the gravel trap. How will that one be looked into? I understand it's under investigation, but Paul Dufresne leads. Alberto NASCAR is in the back of shot. However, he's a lap down. So NASCAR well outside the top 15. He is going to lose all manner of points. The likes of Dufresne, Linster and Siortsis. Looks as if he's running in fifth, but he's a lap behind the top four. Look at all of the drama has allowed Jill Linster up into second place as well. So Jill Linster up into P2. Meanwhile, he has Melvin de Groot for company. Patrick Schauber looking to get back on the podium after the jubilation for himself and Double V Racing in Victory Lane at Oschersleben last month. Carries the speed through turn three. Melvin de Groot leaving the inside open, and Patrick Schauber manages to get himself up into third place. However, immediately his defensive driving is being tested. Well, Paul Dufresne will be driving around here knowing that he's under investigation, wondering what the conclusion of that investigation will be. Bulletin read that this will be investigated after the race, so we're not going to know until after the podium ceremonies exactly what has transpired. But Jill Linster, though, he's running a comfortable second position, and perhaps he is already aware of the situation. I'm sure he will be before too long. He could inherit a race victory here. Paul Dufresne rounds the final corner, and he crosses the line to take not the win. He was indeed penalised, a 30-second penalty for the collision between himself and NASCAR. Linster inherits the race win ultimately. However, this information didn't come through, and so Dufresne went to Victory Lane.
The provisional race winner, we have to say, because there's still an investigation ongoing, but still it was an amazing race for you, right?
Amazing? No. I didn't want it that type of action with NASCAR. Yeah, I didn't want it that. As my point of view, I don't think it's my fault, but I have to look at the onboard and the POV from the outside. For me, he pushed me wide on the gravel at turn one, and then turn two, I'm at the inside, and just it turned into me. I may be fault. I don't want to be 100% sure with what I said, but yeah, that's why I don't know. I will wait. I will look maybe with the steward at the race direction, and we will talk. But yeah, it's definitely not what I wanted.
So it's not the right time at the moment to talk about the championship, right?
No. No, it's not the right time. We could talk tomorrow morning, but yeah, the incident will be looked after the race, so I think that we will be called the steward race control, so we will see.
Well, the stewards looked, and he finished in P7. So Jill Linster claiming the win, claiming bonus points, and bringing himself right into the title battle. Jack Davidson with success in the Rookie Trophy and the Legend Trophy going to Melvin de Groot after Claudio Remeggio Capelli fell by the wayside. Ariana Casoli taking the Lady Trophy classification. And that was all she wrote on Saturday in the NASCAR Wheel in Euro Series. Drama, thrills and spills, and the championships will all be decided on Sunday. The final race for each championship in 2023.